right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. In this one, I'm joined by Zack Rosenblatt, new Jets beat reporter, right from The Athletic. How's it going, man?
It's good. Thank you for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. I've been on the beat for a week now, so it's been cool getting to know the fan base for sure.
Yeah, no, it's been totally awesome. Like checking out your updates and everything like that. It's like play by play, which is like great. It's like, perfect for all the, Jets fans that are like stuck in school, stuck at work and everything like that. But what are some of your initial takeaways from Jets training camp so far?
I think I have a maybe more unique perspective than other people who are at practice because this is like my first exposure to this team, really. So everything is new to me. And I'm not coming in with any preconceived notions. Like I've read up on the Jets and I've seen tweets and stuff. But anyway, so long wind up to say that I've been very impressed with the defense. I think this defense has some legit talent. I think the secondary, the starters, they're even pretty good depth actually. Like I think the secondary could be quite good. I think the defensive line could be quite good. Maybe there's some questions about the linebacker, but the defense seems legit to me. You have to factor in they're going against the Jets offense every day, all that stuff. I just think the talent, if you look at it on paper, and then if you watch them in practice, like Jordan Whitehead has been awesome. I think DJ Reed has been maybe the best defensive player I've seen through camp. I think Sauce Gardner has been awesome. Trying to think. Carl Lawson is looking like he's getting back into shape, and he looks really good. And yeah, I don't know. That the defense has really impressed me.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome because, like, I mean, I'm sure the Jets defense last year was horrible, right? 32 out of 32, couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop the pass, couldn't get after the quarterback. It was just brutal to watch. And you threw out a bunch of names there. Who's one player that's really stood out to you on offense or defense?
Yeah, somebody asked me on Twitter that earlier. I said on offense, it's Elijah Moore, and on defense, I think it's been DJ Reed. For Elijah Moore, I mean, he makes a few plays each practice. It doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. He clearly has a connection with Zach, but he's made plays with Joe Flacco, even Mike White, but especially Flacco and Zach. He's made a lot of plays down the field. He had a one-handed catch. Today's Tuesday. He had a one-handed catch today from Joe. I don't know. He just seems like he's ready to take the next step, and he's just very talented. He's fast. He's explosive. He makes the catches in the middle of the field, down the field. And I think he's just ready to break out. And on top of that, he's got a much better supporting cast this year around him. I mean, if Corey Davis is healthy and you have Garrett Wilson, who looks like he's very talented, and you have Breece Hall running the ball, and Michael Carter, and all that. But so I'd say him, and then on the other side, DJ Reed. Yeah, I mean, again, I just listed all these receivers, and then you have DJ Reed. It seems like he really hasn't given up much of anything against any of them. He prevented a touchdown. Zach Wilson tried throwing a fade to Corey Davis, and he was just draping him in coverage, and there was just no way of him getting it. I'd say those two, and I think the tandem of DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner is just going to be pretty awesome this year. I think. I mean, Sauce Gardner is going to go through his growing pains. He looks good in practice right now. Rookie corner is always kind of the opposing offense is going to target him a lot. I think he knows that. But the talent is there. I've never seen a cornerback that looks like him physically. So in terms of like who's looked the best, I would say DJ Reed and Elijah Moore, though.
So quick question. How long have you been covering NFL teams for? Because you mentioned, Sauce Gardner, you haven't seen anybody like him physically. What other corners have you been around?
I covered the Eagles for 2 years. I covered the Giants for 2 years. So cornerback wise, man, I'm blanking on him.
There's some good ones though. Bradbury and whatnot.
James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson. I'm blanking on who the Eagles. Avonte Maddox is not very long. He was a pretty short corner. Man, my memory is getting worse as I get older.
No, dude, you're good. They've I mean, both teams.
Yeah, the Eagles always have good corners. But yeah, I mean, just the way his body looks, Sauce, like his arms and legs are so long, and he moves really quick. So it's and he's got great personality and confidence. Like he's gonna be a lot of fun to cover. You hope he does well, just because a guy like with that personality, if things go bad in this town and people turn on him, then you never know how they handle it. Sure. So you hope it works out for him. But I think the sky's the limit for that guy. That cliche.
Yeah, man, that's sweet. So and you talked a little bit about Zach, a second ago, but what's been your, I guess, I don't want to say key takeaway, but what's just been your viewpoint on Zach? I mean, it's not like, you're like a diehard Jet fan like me, where you're kind of coming in you're coming in with an answer where it's like maybe a little homery or a little optimistic, just honest opinion about Zach Wilson so far.
Yeah, I still think I'm reserving my full judgment of him. I'd say I think it's still a little too early. But I think the talent is clearly there. He had a play to I think it was Elijah Moore, the like 80-yard touchdown on Monday, where he rolled out and it was like a flick of the wrist and it was like 60 yards in the air, got up in stride, touchdown. So I think the arm talent is clearly there. He's very athletic. He's a fun player to watch. I think he's still definitely making a lot of mistakes. And I think when the pocket breaks down, I think they're really trying to work on his improvisational stuff. So I think that they want that to be a part of his game. But yeah, I mean, I'd say if there's a concern, it's just that when the play breaks down, it seems like things don't tend to go right. It's not always his fault, but I don't know. Like I track the throws that he makes in 11 on 11s, and there was a couple of practices where he was less than 50%, and the other practices where he's pretty good. There hasn't been anything like egregiously bad to the point where like I'm concerned yet about him. So I think it's been more good than bad is what I've been telling people, but it's early and I want to see him, I think the joint practices are going to be a big evaluation period. I think preseason games, and then once we get to the season, but he has the pieces around him. So he certainly is like the key here to put it together.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like nobody's really expecting him to be Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Tom Brady this season. And, especially like only being through training camp, like just a little over a week now, there's not like a ton of information that we can kind of, dissect here. But you were talking a little bit about Sauce Gardner as a defensive rookie. What offensive rookie has stood out to you?
Oh, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. I mean, he looks great, but Breece Hall, he just, again, he's not. I like knew who he was, and I knew him coming out of the draft and the kind of prospect he was. But he just looks the part. Every time he touches the ball, he seems like he's the kind of guy that's always going to gain yards. He runs really tough, but he's also quick for his size. Like he's big. He's like I don't know, like 6'1", 222 or something like that. And he moves really quick. He hits the holes hard. It seems like he really has, chemistry with that offensive line, which is like an underrated part of like, strong runners in between the tackles and stuff like that. So I'm really encouraged by him. And I think Michael Carter's also looked good, even though he got banged up yesterday. And I think that's a really good pairing. I'm curious to see like what the split looks like. I'm sure it'll be more of a split early in the season than I can see as the season goes on. Maybe Breece gets more touches, but this offensive rookie class, like across the league, is interesting because there's not really a quarterback that stands out. So I think there's really like an opening for somebody to take that offensive rookie of the year. The receivers have been blowing up lately, but if Breece Hall gets the touches, he's a good enough pass catcher. Like I honestly like the ceiling for him is offensive rookie of the year, I think.
Yeah, dude, definitely. That's a really, really good point. I didn't even think about, putting 2 and 2 together with the, with the quarterbacks and everything like that. Cause it's like, even Kenny Pickett's not like a lock to start in Pittsburgh. But Zach, dude, I appreciate your time, man. I know you're super busy and I know you're probably going to be getting back to it tomorrow. Yeah, dude, thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
And for everybody watching, all of Zach's links to his social media, to his athletic page down below in the description box. So I would highly recommend checking it out. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.